Elon Musk, and that is the company that made him famous and his fortune. Tesla is no longer his biggest asset in his portfolio. These are according to numbers just crunched as of today by Fortune.
What happens when a trillion-dollar titan becomes a global punching bag? When Elon Musk, the man hailed as the genius of our generation, finds himself at the center of a political storm, facing strikes, sanctions, and a stock crash so brutal it wipes out $135 billion in just 30 days? This is not science fiction. This is Tesla's 2025 collapse. From government betrayals to international trade wars, what you're about to see is how one of the most powerful companies in the world crumbled. Fast. It didn't start with a press release. It started with shattered glass. In cities across North America and Europe, chaos erupted. Tesla dealerships were vandalized, windows smashed, vehicles defaced with spray paint, and red paint poured across showroom floors like blood in the water. But this wasn't random violence, it was personal. Protesters gathered with signs not just criticizing the company, but calling out Elon Musk by name, blaming him for Tesla's fall from grace. They weren't chanting about electric vehicles. They were chanting about Dogecoin, politics, and power. So what went wrong? Beneath the sleek designs and revolutionary tech, something else had taken root: controversy. Investors were growing uneasy. Musk's increasingly erratic tweets, shilling Dogecoin one minute, endorsing polarizing politicians the next, sparked fear on Wall Street and fury abroad. And foreign governments? They saw an opening. Canada and the European Union moved swiftly, wrapping themselves in the flag of patriotism, while quietly initiating what many now call a modern economic war. Subsidies were pulled, regulations tightened, trade barriers quietly rose. Meanwhile, Tesla's stock chart looked like a ski slope. In under 30 days, Tesla lost $135 billion in market value. One of the most valuable companies in the world was now bleeding. And this was just the beginning. Then came Canada's shock announcement. In April 2025, the Canadian government revoked Tesla's eligibility for all federal EV rebates, effectively freezing over $43 million in pending claims. The result? A full-on market collapse. Within 72 hours, Canadian buyers canceled orders in droves. Dealerships were left with overflowing inventories. Tesla Canada became a ghost town. The message from Ottawa was loud and clear. Tesla was no longer welcome. If Canada had fired the first shot, Europe brought the artillery. In early 2025, the European Union launched a sweeping set of tariffs specifically targeting American-made electric vehicles. And at the top of that list, Tesla. But that was just the beginning. In a coordinated political move, the EU revoked Tesla's access to key subsidy programs in Germany, France, and Italy, Tesla's three biggest European markets. Suddenly, customers were paying thousands more for a Tesla than for its competitors. It wasn't just about economics, it was personal. European politicians began publicly associating Elon Musk with Donald Trump's controversial policies. News segments, op-eds, and social media campaigns painted Tesla not as a cutting-edge automaker, but as a foreign political pawn, an extension of American arrogance masquerading as innovation. The impact? Immediate and brutal. Sales nosedived. Exports to Europe dropped by a staggering 40%, and profits sliced in half within weeks. Tesla, once hailed as a global disruptor, had become a diplomatic pariah. Elon Musk didn't stay silent. He never does. As pressure mounted, he launched a counteroffensive, but not through boardrooms or press conferences. Instead, he went straight to his favorite battleground, Twitter. He mocked European regulators, accused the media of fabricating stories, and even called institutional investors sheep for abandoning him. But this time, the usual Musk bravado didn't inspire confidence. It triggered chaos. Major investment firms pulled out. Hedge funds dumped Tesla stock by the millions. That triggered a cascade of automated sell-offs, sending Tesla's stock into a nosedive. And while the world watched the drama unfold online, something far more serious was happening behind closed doors. Inside Tesla's headquarters, the mood shifted from concern to full-blown panic. People stopped talking about quarterly bonuses and started whispering about layoffs, shutdowns, survival. The empire was no longer under siege. It was crumbling from the inside out. Quick pause. If you're still watching, you're clearly hooked. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest corporate shakeups in modern history. Now back to the story, because it gets even crazier. While Tesla unraveled, Volkswagen struck gold. With factories in Europe and full access to EU subsidies, VW slashed EV prices overnight. Their marketing? Brilliant. Buy European, drive European. It worked. Volkswagen didn't just take Tesla's market share, they took the narrative. While Tesla was busy battling headlines and hemorrhaging market share, a quiet storm was brewing, and its name was BYD. The Chinese electric vehicle titan had been playing the long game. No Twitter outbursts, no political drama, just pure, methodical execution. As Musk tangled with governments, BYD struck deals with them, inking massive contracts across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. While Tesla's exports faced resistance, BYD's cars rolled off docks into eager hands, fully compliant, competitively priced, and locally supported. Their secret weapon? Vertical integration. BYD controlled everything from battery production to shipping, allowing them to move faster, cheaper, and smarter. By the first quarter of 2025, the numbers told the story loud and clear. BYD had officially outsold Tesla on a global scale. Elon Musk, once the undisputed king of EVs, had lost his crown, and this time, it wasn't coming back. And just when Tesla thought it had survived the worst, Canada delivered a final, crushing blow. In an unprecedented move, the Canadian government imposed an export embargo on the lifeblood of electric vehicle production: nickel, cobalt, and lithium. These weren't just any minerals, they were critical to Tesla's batteries, and Canada had been one of its biggest suppliers. But the ban wasn't blanket, it was targeted. Volkswagen and BYD still getting their shipments. Tesla? Cut off. Completely. The consequences hit hard and fast. Gigafactories in Texas, Nevada, and Berlin ground to a halt. Assembly lines stalled. Costs skyrocketed, delivery schedules disintegrated, and investors? They lost faith overnight. The world didn't just see a company struggling, it saw a CEO losing control. For many, this was it, the final nail in the coffin of Tesla's dominance. Every crisis chipped away at Tesla's once untouchable image, until there was barely anything left. City by city, charging stations were quietly dismantled. What were once glowing symbols of the future now stood abandoned, stripped bare, or replaced by competitors' logos. A silent but powerful message. Tesla was no longer welcome. Governments tore up fleet contracts overnight. Police departments, public transit systems, and even postal services began pulling Tesla vehicles off the road, citing procurement risks and political blowback. Then came the insurance companies. Rates for Tesla owners surged as providers labeled the brand a corporate liability. Repair costs, leadership instability, and regulatory uncertainty turned the cars into high-risk assets. It didn't take long for public perception to shift. Once seen as the pinnacle of innovation, Tesla was now the punchline of boardroom jokes. One analyst summed it up with brutal clarity. Tesla is no longer the iPhone of cars. It's becoming the Nokia. Back home, things got even worse. US Tesla factories erupted in strikes. Over 20,000 workers walked out, protesting wage freezes, long hours, and safety violations. Union leaders gained momentum. Public sympathy shifted, not toward Musk, but toward the workers. Tesla had become a symbol of corporate greed. And then the shockwaves hit Wall Street. Tesla's crash wiped out billions from pension funds and retirement accounts. Credit tightened, state budgets faltered, even housing markets trembled as economic confidence crumbled. The green energy sector? Frozen. Investors ran scared, and the US paid the price. The trade war spiraled. Canada and the EU expanded their tariffs beyond EVs, targeting American tech, software, and rare earth minerals. Countries in Latin America and Southeast Asia began pivoting toward China and Europe. The dollar weakened, foreign investment dried up. For the first time in decades, the US looked isolated. The US now faces three brutal options: admit defeat and lift the tariffs, risking political backlash; double down and boost domestic production, an expensive and slow path; partner with authoritarian regimes to secure minerals, jeopardizing national values. Each path is a gamble, and none come cheap. Elon Musk, once hailed as the modern-day Edison, the man who redefined cars, rockets, and the internet, now finds himself watching his empire collapse piece by piece. Starlink, his ambitious satellite internet project, has been stripped of licenses in multiple countries. From Europe to parts of Asia, governments cite security concerns and policy violations. Whole regions go dark overnight, severing Musk's vision of global connectivity. Neuralink, once hyped as the gateway to merging humans with AI, is now drowning in controversy. Regulatory bodies across the globe slam the brakes, citing ethics violations, rushed animal testing, and unanswered safety questions. Trials are suspended, funding vanishes, the dream turns dystopian, and Tesla, Musk's crown jewel, has seen its valuation nosedive. Once the undisputed leader of the EV revolution, it's now worth less than legacy giants like Ford and GM. The stock that symbolized innovation is now a cautionary tale for investors. The man who once promised to put humanity on Mars is now struggling to keep his businesses afloat on Earth. What started as a few angry tweets and regulatory tweaks became a full-blown economic war, with Tesla caught in the crossfire. Is this the collapse of a corporate empire, or a global reset that was always coming? Either way, one thing is clear. The EV race isn't just about batteries anymore. It's about politics, power, and perception. So what do you think? Is Musk the architect of his own downfall, or was Tesla a victim of global sabotage? Let us know in the comments, and if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this story is far from over.